irritated by the characters. Hello friends, welcome to another new reading vlog. We are going to be reading romantasies for a week, which I'm super excited about because I actually feel like I do like the genre romantasy, but I haven't picked up a lot of books that is under this subgenre. So I am going to be reading some really popular BookTok, BookTube romantasy books. The first book we're going to be reading, you guys saw the B-roll footage, we're going to be reading Heartless Hunter by Kristen Sigarelli. I picked this up yesterday night, but I didn't want to do the intro, so I'm doing the intro the next day. But I did pick this up yesterday and I have read a significant amount, although not really a lot. But I'm now at page 96 of this book. We're in the middle of a chapter and I am really liking this book so far. So with this, you're following Rune Winters, who is a witch, and this fantasy world witches are getting killed. They are not supposed to live. Rune is in hiding and she's pretending to be an aristocrat, but secretly she is called the Crimson Moth, who is a vigilante. And then comes in our male main character, Gideon Sharp, who is a witch hunter. Rune really needs to get intel from Gideon, and Gideon wants to figure out if Rune is actually a witch or not. And so they play this game of cat and mouse, a game of seduction, I would say. What really interests me with this whole book is definitely the setting, because I think it's like semi-Regency era. There's like balls and there are ribbons that you give off to dance partners if you want to dance with them, and there are these parties where people use ball gowns. So I feel like we're following the Bridgerton style Regency era, and I really do like that era. I'm having a really grand time reading it and the plot is flowing really well, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen, but I'm definitely not obsessed with it. I do like Gideon's character, but I would like to see more of him, his backstory, what happened to him when he was young. Those are my thoughts right now. I'm gonna continue on reading this.
I keep telling myself I don't need help, but here I go.
Reading update, I am at chapter 31. This is page 214 and I'm officially more than halfway through the book, which I'm very happy about. I feel like I read a lot today and it's still light outside, so I still have so many hours left to be reading today. Current thoughts, I do really like where we're going. I like the relationship Gideon and Rune has, but momentarily I am not obsessed with them as a couple. I do like the little banter they have. I also like that they're getting to know each other, and also the fact that they are supposed to be hunting each other. That's the fun part of this book. And also there's something else about this. I didn't realize this book was adult. I thought it was YA. Right now at least we haven't gotten a spice scene yet, but it feels like we're going to get one. We're getting a little bit of backstory when it comes to why Gideon doesn't like witches, and that is interesting to me. Things move very quickly and the pacing is great. After I play tennis, I will continue on reading this book, but I'm gonna put it down for now and I will come back to you guys when I have more updates on this. I do have high hopes for the ending of this book. I've heard that it's really epic, so I'm hoping I will enjoy this by the end of it. So those are my thoughts. I am going to go now and I'll see you guys later. It has been a few hours and I read a little bit more of Heartless Hunter. I'm now at chapter 45. This is page 310 and we have finally gotten a lot of progress with the romance. Like, it's a little bit, tiny bit of like physical attraction involved and not entirely them really liking each other's characters. As an enemies to lovers romance, there's a lot of push and pull when it comes to their feelings, so I like seeing the turmoil in their emotions and their thoughts and how they feel towards each other, and I think it's fun. Also, there is something about Rune's two best friends that I'm just not clicking and vibing with. I'm not a huge fan of the both of them. I don't know what it is about them, but I just don't think that I enjoy their characters. I just want to see more of Rune, more of Gideon. I really like both of them. I think they both have valid reasons to what they're doing right now, and it makes the plot really complex because you get to see why Gideon hates witches, but you also understand why Rune wants to save the witches. I like where the plot is going. I think bad things are gonna start happening because a lot of good things have happened. So yeah, I have like 90 pages to the end. I don't know if I'm gonna continue on reading tonight or if I'm gonna start it tomorrow because honestly I'm kind of tired. Right now I'm gonna go and take a break and I will probably update you guys tomorrow. Oh my god, what's going on? I knew it! I knew it. I saw that coming. Oh my god, please no. I have updates on Heartless Hunter. I officially finished it. As you guys saw, I filmed my reaction of like the last 100 pages and I definitely enjoyed the ending. I loved how this ended. I did guess one part of the book, but I didn't guess the rest. Everything else, all the plot twists, unpredictable, and I was super shocked by one thing that happened that almost made me tear up. I'm so excited to get into the second book, which is coming out next year. But that is so freaking good. The writing was so quick, pacing was done so well, and I just feel like this was such a good fantasy book. I had a lot of fun. I think the one thing, if I can pinpoint, is definitely the romance. It did feel a little bit like physical attraction compared to them really liking each other's character. However, everything else was done really, really well. I feel like this book I will continue to think about for the rest of the year. I feel like it's not going to leave my brain. I don't know what to rate this though. It's definitely not 5 stars, but maybe like a 4.5 or maybe a 4.25, but maybe a 4.5 actually. I'll sit on the rating for this book. We're gonna pick out our second romantasy book. Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden will be my second read. This is the part of the Sacred Stones trilogy, and if you ask me what this book is about, I have no idea. All I know is the FMC's name is Arwen and she somehow gets captured doing something. Other than that, I don't know anything else. I think there are fae involved in this book and I'm hoping that I will enjoy it. So I'm gonna get right into A Dawn of Onyx. I'm like in a reading mood right now, so that's really good. I'm just feeling really excited picking up books right now. So we're gonna get started into Dawn of Onyx. I have nothing to do today, which is great. Let's get into it. Lighting bad, might be a little bit bad, but I want to give an update on A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden because I've reached page 133, chapter 10. I've been flying through the book. I've been having a great time. In the beginning, I thought it was going to be a little bit slow, but it starts right off. You get into the plot immediately, and I really like that. So far, pacing-wise, everything has been great. I've been getting to know the world. Stuff is going on. We don't really know much about the world yet, but I'm excited to know more because this is definitely a book about fae. But the fae in this world is known to be extinct, like they don't exist, but they definitely do. But I've been getting to know both main characters, and I did guess. I did guess the initial plot twist. It was pretty obvious, at least to me. I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't think it's a well-known fact. Getting to know our characters, I do like Arwen. She does seem a little bit naive. Some of her actions I can't really justify because it doesn't make any sense. Thought I would give a quick update before I continue, but those are my thoughts right now. I will give you guys more updates later. Little quick update of The Dawn of Onyx. I've read 100 pages again since my last update. I'm at chapter 18. This is page 229, and I thought I would give an update now because I'm more than halfway through, but also I just really need to talk about this book for a bit. I am a little bit irritated by the characters. I think when it comes to the world and the plot and the pacing, it's really good, and I haven't felt bored at all by the book. The reading experience has been pretty quick. I've been flying through the book. I don't feel like the pacing has slowed down in any part of the book, but the characters are starting to irritate me, especially Arwen and Kane, our MC. I know she's sheltered, I know she's naive, I know she's a little bit dumb, but the things that she does, the way she justifies it, quite frankly, really annoying because obviously it doesn't make any sense, but also the way she like thinks about herself, the way she's trying to make it all make sense doesn't make sense. I think it's because she is being portrayed to be a stupid, sheltered, don't really know anything much about the world type of girl. So I'm trying to look past it, and hopefully she'll get better by like the next few books in the trilogy. Let's talk about Kane, our main character, who's said to be very flirty but also really strong, really strict, really cunning, like a monster, very cruel. I'm not seeing any of that. I'm seeing him to be just like any normal guy who is currently obsessed with Arwen, but I don't know where the obsession is coming from. I don't know why he's that much into her. I can't understand it. We're only getting Arwen's POV in this book, but still, Kane's feelings towards Arwen doesn't make sense. Those are the things that are currently frustrating me, at least at this point, is that the characters feel very 2D. They feel very surface level. The things that they go through, the backstories they have, it doesn't feel like those things shape them as a person. So I don't feel the layers in their characters. I don't feel that there is much with the way they think. I do love a good old character development book, so I'm hoping that there is more to this. Right now, I am trying to not feel very much frustrated by the actions of these characters because some of the things that they do really irritates me. I've literally been yapping for 5 minutes about this. I'm gonna stop talking. Those are my thoughts of Dawn of Onyx right now. I'm going to continue on reading this tonight. Pacing wise and reading wise, it's fun. It's great because the plot is just moving really quickly, moving forward really fast. So I'm hoping that it will stay that way just because the characters at this point is not enticing me to continue this book. Those are my thoughts. I'm gonna go now. I will get this done and I'll see you guys later. I am here to give an update on A Dawn of Onyx because as you guys saw, I did finish reading this book. I'm so happy with the ending. I actually really liked it. There were a few plot twists I didn't see coming. There was one that was pretty obvious for me when it comes to the female main character, but everything else was pretty surprising. I liked how things went, and I have a feeling that Arwen is not going to be as irritating in the second book, so I'm happy. I'm excited to see her growth. Also, the ending isn't a really big cliffhanger, so I'm not itching to get into the second book, but I did like how this ended. I did like how the fantasy world started to really build itself, and although I can say that it's definitely not as complex and intricate as a lot of other fantasy books I've read, if you guys like a very romance heavy fantasy book, this is pretty good because you get a pretty decent amount of fantasy world building, but there's a lot of romance in this book. I feel like compared to Heartless Hunter, this book had so much more romance. As for my rating, I'm in between. Well, actually, I would like to give this a 4 stars just because I had so much fun reading this. I had such a good time, but I have to say that the characters weren't my favorite. I'm a bit iffy about the 4-star rating. We'll see about that, but right now, this is 4 stars. Now that we're done with this book, we're gonna pick out our last book for this video, and the book that I want to read is technically a new release. It was recently traditionally published, and I would like to reread it, and that's Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. So I don't actually know which video I read the indie published version at, but it was in like a booktuber's favorite video. It was Raven Haired Reader's favorite book, and I read it, and this is the indie published version. It's so heavy and super thick, so I assumed this book would be really thick too, but this indie published version is 571 pages. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's the indie published version, but this book is only 368 pages. I'm excited to see what type of editing goes into the traditionally published version, because the author did say that there's a lot of editing that was going to be done when she moved to traditionally published. So I'm excited to see. I actually took a little bit of a sneak peek in the first chapter, and already there were different things with the writing, so I'm excited. I will be picking up Fear the Flames. It's going to be our last book of this video. One thing I had a problem with when I read this book was that I liked the plot and the world building, but I felt like the pacing, the sentence structuring, and the grammatical / vocabulary errors were irking me. So I hope those things will be different in this book, and I hope there will be some sort of improvement. Also, if you guys don't know what this book is about, you're following Elwyn. She is the princess of this one kingdom. I forgot what the name of the kingdom is, and she used to be locked up in the castle or something, but she escaped when she was young. Someone helped her escape, and she has been living in a different kingdom, living in hiding, and in that kingdom she has been slowly building a small army in order to go back to her original kingdom to steal her 5 dragons. Because when she was born, she was immediately bonded with 5 different dragons, and the king was afraid of the power that she would hold, so the king decided to lock her up, but then she escaped, and now years later she wants to get her dragons back. And then she ends up working with a different kingdom's commander in order to fight her dad's kingdom and get her dragons back. We shall see. I'm excited. Even the back of the book is different. Even the blurbs are different. So I'm excited to pick this up. Okay, let us get started with Fear the Flames. As you guys saw, I did reach part 2 of this book, The Alliance. I'm now at page 89. This is chapter 13. I thought I would give like a midway update because I've been having a lot of fun with this book. I do remember the plot of the book and the things that happen in this story, but I have to say the writing has really improved since the indie published version, because I remembered reading the indie published version and feeling like there was a lot of just like excess information, excess descriptions, and anomalies in Elwyn's character. But I really like this version a lot more because in this book, Elwyn has gone through a lot. She has gone through torture, she has gone through pain, and she really wants to get her dragons back, and she is literally burning for revenge. And so the way she's being portrayed in this book completely makes it seem like she doesn't care about anything else except to get her dragons back. But I remembered in the indie published version, there was a little bit of like lustiness in her when she gets really attracted to Caden, who is the commander of Verabeth, who she's gonna work with. But I really like that they're really embodying their character in this book. The writing has hugely improved, and I'm so happy I'm rereading this because I do remember the plot, but I don't remember the smaller details, and reading about it again is making me really happy. I'm gonna continue on reading. I probably will take a little break because I've been reading for so long just now. I will give you guys more updates tonight probably, so I'll see you guys later. I need to leave, so I'm gonna make this quick. I did end up reading a few bits of Fear the Flames last night. I didn't give an update though because I was just so tired by the end of it. I'm at chapter 33. This is page 236. I've read a lot and I feel like I can get this book done today, so I'm gonna do that. The past few pages has been great. I feel like this book, after the editing, has been amazing. I love love the chemistry between Elwyn and Caden. I love their romance. I feel like the romance really pushes the plot forward, but it's not cringy. At least to me, it's not cringy. I don't feel icked out by everything that happens, and I love the banter. I am going to go now. I'm gonna continue reading this, and hopefully I'll give you guys more updates tonight, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get this done today because I'm just flying through the book. I don't want to stop reading it. I love the plot, and I'm excited to see more dragon stuff because we've gotten a little bit but not a lot, and I'm hoping to see more dragon stuff. That's my update. I'm gonna go now. I will see you guys later. Hi, I finished it. I finished reading Through the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling, and I have some thoughts. I kind of couldn't really find the words for what I was feeling with the book. I now, after sitting on it for a bit, I now have a decent amount of opinions about the writing in this book. First off, I did say, compared to the original indie published version, this book was so much better. It took out a lot of the user's information and they narrowed it down a lot, because even the page number, it went from a 500 something to a 368 page book, and it was a lot of cringe when it comes to the romance. But this version, I love the romance. I thought the relationship was very cute. There were some cringer moments by the end of the book, but I did feel like the romance and the chemistry felt very real, especially between Elwyn and her dragons. There was this connection, this bond that was very emotional and very heartwarming. I did feel it in this book. It didn't feel this way in the first published version, but I do have to admit, the writing, even though it is a lot better, there's still a little bit of issues that I found, especially when it comes to going from paragraph to paragraph. So I think the reason this happened was because there was a lot of packed information in the first published version that when they came to this version, they took out a lot of the things there, and it became a little bit not super cohesive. When you go from paragraph to paragraph, it feels like it jumps a lot. It's very choppy. For example, there's a scene where Elwyn is in her bath and she's coming out of her bath and she's wearing her robe, and then suddenly the next paragraph, it's not her going to her room, wearing her clothes, drying her hair, combing her hair. No, none of that. She's suddenly dressed, ready to go, and she's out the door. She's not even in her room anymore. That was just an example, but there were a lot of instances where I felt like the paragraph to paragraph was very choppy, and it just felt like I was being taken out of the scene because I couldn't see the flow. It was not very smooth. The more I read on, the more I realized it, and the more I felt like it was quite difficult to read. And also, sometimes from chapter to chapter, there was no flow at all, and they didn't really explain what was going on. There was a part where I think something was happening in the previous chapter, and when they jumped into the next chapter, apparently Caden was going to war, and I didn't even know that part was going to appear. Just all of a sudden, Elwyn was saying, please be safe, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when I knew, oh wait, Caden is going to war. Like, it wasn't even explained in the first few paragraphs of the chapter. Yes, the romance is great. I do like the romance. I do like both characters. I feel like Elwyn and Caden was done really well. And also the side characters in this book were also done well. I loved Finian, I loved Saskia, I loved Ryder. Just felt like everyone played a very big role in this found family, and there were use of them. They weren't just like a use a side character. So I did really like the character building. I think my problem was mainly the writing, because world building I felt that was great. The plotting was also great. The character development was great, but the writing, the sentence structuring still needs help. The plot was also very predictable. Like, there was nothing going on in here that surprised me. I did read it before, but I remembered even in the first version, nothing really surprised me. There was one thing that happened that I didn't remember happening in the first book, but I guess I missed it or something. So that kind of surprised me a little bit, but I think I missed it in the first book. I'm pretty sure it happened. I just forgot about it now because I read it last year. Those are my thoughts on Fear the Flames, and I'm officially done with this book. Okay, let's quickly retrace back to all of the 3 books I read in this video. First book I read is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, and I decided to rate this book 4.5 stars. I just feel like the last 100 pages of this book really saved the rating. It was so epic. Everything that happened were punches after punches after punches. Like, it was so freaking good that it went from a 4 to a 4.5. I liked the romance. I thought it was great. It wasn't as well fleshed out as I would like it to be, but it's not bad. However, I did not like Rune as a character. I have come to realize after sitting on this book for a bit that Rune as a character wasn't well developed enough for me to actually really love her as a character. That's why I felt a little bit of disconnect between her and Gideon's relationship. But yeah, everything else about this book I really liked. I'm so excited for a second book. And then we read A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. I have come to the realization that this book probably is a 3.5 stars instead of a 4. Because after sitting on this for a bit, I realized that I don't really know much about the characters in this book. I only remember the main 2 characters. What are their names? Arwen and Kane, right? They felt like useless characters. So I decided to rate this a 3.5. Again, like I've mentioned before, Arwen and Kane's own individual characteristics were a little bit iffy. So A Dawn of Onyx is 3.5 stars. Last but not least, Fear the Flames. I decided to rate this at 3.75. I originally rated the first version of 4 stars, but I think if I had to go back to past me and re-rate that book, it would have been a 3.5, and then I'm upping it to a 3.75 because I felt like there was huge improvement between the 2 books, but I still feel like there needs to be more improvement. I'm excited to pick up the second book, which I don't know when it's coming out. I think next year, but there is a little like thing at the back that says the next book is called Wrath of the Dragons. Yeah, 3.75. I still feel like it's a really strong romantasy series. I'm excited to continue the series. I'm excited to see more, and you do get a lot more dragon stuff in this version. I'm pretty sure the first version didn't have lots of dragon stuff. This one had a lot, so I'm really happy about that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. This was so fun to make, and again, if you guys enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you guys have read any of these books, or if you have any romantasy books you guys want me to check out, because I do love reading them, please leave it in the comments down below. I would like to read more. That is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!